Is polygamy sin? In the Old Testament, a man was allowed to marry another woman if he could take care of all his wives materially and sexually. In fact, Exodus 21:10 says, if he marries another woman, he must not deprive the first one of her food, clothing, and marital rights. Jacob got his 12 sons from 4 women, Leah and her maid, Rachel and her maid, 4 women. And his sons are the patriarchs of the 12 tribes of Israel. The 12 sons of Jacob are the fathers of the 12 blessed tribes of Israel. So Jacob's family was blessed of God, even though it was polygamous. Now, besides his 8 wives who are mentioned by name in the Bible, David took more wives and concubines when he went to Jerusalem. 2 Samuel 5:13. This is the greatest king of Israel, a man after God's own heart, who wrote most of the psalms that bless you. What about King Solomon? Solomon was the polygamy greatest of all times. Nobody has ever broken that record in the history of mankind. 700 wives and 300 concubines. That story is written in many passages in scriptures. But you can also read 1 Kings 11:3. Solomon is also said to be the greatest of all times in wisdom and wealth. This is the guy who wrote the book of Proverbs, Ecclesiastes, and Songs of Songs. You know what? There were even polygamous men in the early church, believe it or not. Actually, that's the reason Paul said for bishops and deacons, the Apostle Paul demanded that bishops and deacons must be husbands of one wife. 1 Timothy 3, verse 2 and verse 12. But he never made that demand for the rest of the church, because we had so many church folks who were polygamous. He only instructed bishops and deacons. I repeat, 1 Timothy 3, verse 2 and verse 12. But was that the perfect will of God? No. Jesus said the perfect will of God from the beginning of time was one man, one woman, and the two become one flesh. Matthew 19, 5-6. One man, one woman, not 2 men. Not 2 women. No, that's perversion. And not 1 man, 2 wives. No. Jesus said the perfect will of God was 1 man, 1 woman, and the 2, not the 3, not the 4, not the 10, not group sex. The 2 become one flesh. That was the perfect original will of God. Matthew 19, 5-6, I emphasize. So let me ask you, were these words of Jesus a mere human suggestion or a divine command? In fact, one can also argue that anything outside the perfect will of God is sin. It's rebellion against God. So it seems to me then that polygamy was in the permissive will of God. In other words, God permitted it, but it was never in the perfect will of God. The perfect will of God was Adam and Eve. He created the 2 of them. Adam and Eve. He set the pattern of what marriage was all about and what relationships was all about. He didn't create 2 men. He didn't create 2 women. He didn't create 1 man and 5 wives. He created 1 man, 1 woman, and that was the perfect, still is the perfect will of God. If this video blessed you, please like it, give me a comment, share it with your loved ones, and kindly remember to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Deal?